Welcome to another episode of Counselor's Corner. My guest today is Mari Sanchez. And by the way, this is Jeremy Counseller, Dean of Baylor Law School. Mari is at the end of her first year of law school. So she hasn't been here very long, but she is no stranger to Baylor Law School because before you came to law school,
yes,
what was your before you became a law student, what was your connection to Baylor Law School?
So I got the privilege to work in the Dean Suite when I was an undergrad. So I got to know a lot of the faculty, a lot of the staff.
As a student worker?
As a student worker.
Yeah, because you were a Baylor undergrad.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So got to see a lot of the behind the scenes. It was extremely fun.
Mari, I don't mind telling you that when you said you got the privilege to work in the Dean Suite, there was a bit of sarcasm underlying that. I detected sarcasm.
No, I genuinely, it was such a wonderful opportunity. I have fallen in love with Baylor Law because of that. It definitely did not mean for it to be sarcastic. That was completely true. Completely true.
So tell me what was your impression of the law school that you gained from being a student worker? Because at that point, you're an undergraduate student, not a law student, but you're getting to know staff in a way that's different than law students because you're working with them. So What was your impression of law school after that?
I was like, okay, this is hard. I was seeing, students walk through, maybe a little sad looking perhaps, but in the way of, okay.
Like after grades come out.
Exactly, right. It was always that time. And I knew when we pushed them out, I was like, oh, it'll be a good time. But no, in the way of, I saw that while they were working very hard, it was a place that they felt completely poured into, completely invested in. And then I got to obviously meet you guys and meet some staff and faculty that walked through. And I saw what it meant to them to be able to mentor students and to be able to bring them through the 3 years and what that looked like. And so I was like, okay, I know Baylor Law is hard. I understand that. I get law school in general, but Baylor Law specifically holds a certain standard of excellence. But in the way of these people are doing this for a purpose beyond law school. And I could see that so evidently in everybody that I talked to. They understand this is hard because they're going to advocate for someone later on. And that meant a lot to them. So,
yeah. Well, I'm glad that was your impression as a student worker. How has it held up now that you're a law student?
Yes. I was like coming in, I was like, oh, I know this. This is familiar. I know the process, quarter system. Psh, come on. Oh my goodness. I was like, wait, nope, did not know at all. But no, it has been so amazing to get to be on the other side of it. I was sitting in your class, quarter one, like, am I sure that I'm enrolled here right now? Can someone check to make sure there was not like a clerical error? Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I could just be sitting in here and actually like not on the roster whatsoever. But it was so surreal. I had been there, 4 years I worked here and then took a gap year and I came back and some people remembered me that I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
So they were like, probably like, when is this girl getting out of here? She's been here for so long.
Okay. I was told to ask you this question, and I will just say I have no idea the context of this question.
Gotcha.
But this is a consequence of you knowing people on the staff, okay? And here's the question. How many three-pointers did you hit last night?
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. I actually, too many to count. They all run together.
What were you playing? Was this like one of those little toss it in things at Dave and Buster's or?
So I actually am living out my dreams because I was so close my senior year of undergrad of winning the championship in intramural basketball.
Okay.
Yes. So this is full on 5v5. Regulation.
This is law school intramural basketball.
This is undergrad intramural
Oh, you're
basketball.
playing undergrad. You've got to be disqualified from that. This podcast episode is going to disqualify you.
And that's so true. A 23-year-old against some 18-year-olds. What's happening?
Yeah.
Let me just beat up on him, I guess. But no, I have some undergrad friends who I played with.
Okay.
And they let us in.
I will note you have not answered my question. How many three-pointers did you hit?
I only got 2.
Okay.
So whoever's hyping me up.
Okay.
Must have thought I looked good.
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty
appreciate
good.
That.
Right. I want to come back. You touched on this a minute ago, just sort of the transition into law school. What surprised you most about law school? Because you were more familiar with us, at least, and then you get into the classroom. What surprised you most about that?
Definitely. So a couple of things come to mind. I think first, the people. I mean, I gotten to know some of the students when I was here, of course, but being in it, the camaraderie and how quickly we all bonded, how absolutely servant-hearted all of my classmates are, in the way of how we all want to help each other. And, I'd heard stuff when I was here of, maybe that, competitiveness. And that's, you want that. You want the competitiveness to make us better. But I saw my classmates, we come together and just make each other better without any sort of, I guess, backhandedness or anything like that. It was just these people that I get to do this with. It's so wonderful. And I've made such close friendships already. Yeah. So was not super expecting that. But I think another thing, undergrad, did honors, wrote a lot, all the things. But the volume, for sure, of what law school classes entail, what that looks like of pace and the quarter system to mimic what, real life would look like in that way, I think that was an adjustment. I was like, okay, now I feel challenged. I'm feeling like, okay, this is something I got to make sure I manage my time well.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this. You mentioned earlier, I can't believe I'm sitting here in this classroom now. I think a lot of people have that feeling like, and for some of us, it's more like, what am I doing here? I was wondering if there's a moment somewhere along the way where you're like, okay, I think maybe I can do this. Was there a moment like that?
I think definitely after finals, the first quarterfinals, it was like, okay, I did that. I took the final. I honestly, looking back, okay, I did a hard thing of taking a law school final, but seeing the 9 weeks of work that was put in, I think that was the moment I was like, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll be okay.
I had a similar feeling after I took the bar exam.
Oh, goodness.
Like I walked out of there and I thought, I traded blows with that exam. It didn't beat me down. I may not have beaten it down, but I traded blows with that exam.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Specifically in class, this is something I don't think we've really talked about on the podcast. The Socratic Method.
Mm-hmm.
Being called on.
Love it.
You have to stand up. You have to answer questions of the professor's questions in front of your class.
Yes.
If you don't get them right, the professor will probably ask another student. It's probably the only thing that student knows, but they get it right, and it makes you feel like, oh, well, no, now I'm not. So just talk about that. Talk about the experience. I assume you've been called on a number of times at this point.
Yes, I have. It's been a good time. That definitely was something that I obviously knew that was going to happen coming in. But doing that and standing up and kind of being able to have an opportunity of working through something that all of us are like, okay, thank God it wasn't me when someone gets called on. But being on the side of it, of standing up, my professors genuinely, I could tell they wanted to help in the way of I want you to struggle with this information and then show that you did that, show that you have thought about it and that you just have kind of dealt with the complexities and thought about interweaving connections. So I don't know. I appreciated that part of it of okay, I can tell this is coming from a place of I want you to help understand this. And we're always helping each other out. If we see somebody's blank stare, we get a little whisper, hey, it's this.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, but
we
know that you do. We know that you do.
Just kidding.
So do you remember the first time you got called on? Who was the first person to call on you?
The first person to call on me, I think, was Professor Bates. I think it was contracts. I want to say, that's a lie. I volunteered for that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, he didn't even call on me. I raised my hand because he was like, we were doing a case called Mistletoe, and he was like, who likes Christmas? And so, obviously, I mean, I love Christmas. I'm going to raise my hand.
You're telling me you raised your hand when he said that? That is such a rookie mistake.
And very quickly, I figured that out.
That is such a rookie mistake.
Right? Oh, my
That only
goodness.
works on first quarter law students.
And guess what? It only worked on me specifically because I looked around. None of my classmates had their hand up. It was just me. And I was like, you guys are lying. Like, there's no way I'm the only one who likes Christmas in here.
I
I
love
was like,
that.
that's not even real. And so he goes, oh, you're up then. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Under those circumstances, they were all willing to hate Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, suddenly I don't like it very much anymore, Professor Bates.
What change do you see in yourself over this, you're not quite a year now, but over this first academic year of law school?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I really always was able to tell people you are more than your grades. You are more than what you do. That in the way of more than the value that you get back, that is assessing what success looks like. And here it's grades in that way, and understanding, can we be able to be competitive, make each other better. But I think I was always like, look, we are meant to do something more on this earth. We're meant to serve people. And I think that was something that I was so quick to be able to dish out when people would say, I didn't do so well on whatever, or I feel like I failed in this, or I didn't do my cold call the best that I could. And I think I've, over the past year, have really been challenged of, can I live it out myself? Can I tell that to myself? That what I'm doing here, no matter what that success looks like, benchmarkers of grades, or when I sit down after a cold call, do I feel good about it? Or do I feel whatever about being in this organization or being in this, having this opportunity? I think it's more, what do these mean for how I can serve people in the future? What does it mean for me to be someone in the law that is trying to live out my faith as well, and being able to balance that? I think Baylor Law specifically creates such a wonderful space for that, and understanding how I can just serve the Lord in this profession, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think in part it's about remembering your why and your purpose when you inevitably hit the little speed bumps, and all law students do. I try to impress that upon students at orientation.
Yes.
There are going to be 2 winners of the moot court competition, and there's 90 of you here in this room.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not gonna be everybody. It's only a few. Everybody's going to have those setbacks, and I think remembering the why, as you just referenced, your why is really important. Okay, you have roots in Waco, Texas.
I do.
What are those roots?
I grew up here until I was about 8. Most of my family is here still. Me and my immediate family moved to the Dallas area, but I mean, we come back all the time. Holidays, birthdays, all of my family genuinely is here.
So here's the thing. Was that a positive for you to coming to college then law school here, or was it like, I don't?
Amazing. I'm so glad. Wanted to clarify. No, I do love Waco, and that's honestly, it feels like a win personally. I don't know why. I take it very personally when people say, oh, I really love Waco, when they've, like, my friends here, my friends in undergrad, and I'm like, I think I'm part of that, honestly. I have, in fact, poured so much into this city. No, I'm kidding. But in the way of, I feel so attached to Waco, and it's just very special that someone else gets to find it to be home too.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit sometimes, but it does become home for people, and I think that's so special. So family for me, it was honestly something that I was like, I didn't look at Baylor to begin with. It wasn't my top choice. But the Lord led me here, and it was such a blessing to be able to pour into my family too, and I guess be with them, outside of holidays and obligations of that nature. So I think it's been a positive. It's been such a positive. It's been so amazing to have family here and to be able to share my city with people.
I just want to point out you've referred to Christmas as both something you love and an obligation in the same
right.
podcast.
That's a good point. Now Professor Bates has ruined it for me. Thank you, Professor Bates.
What is something about, like, maybe I don't know, a restaurant or a place or something about Waco that you think is one of your favorites, but maybe is not well known by students?
Oh, there are a couple. I have to bring people to Schmaltz always, and that's a big one. And people don't really know what that is, and so I try to gatekeep it a little bit. But that one.
This is a good answer, by the way, Mari.
I appreciate
this is
that.
a good answer. It's actually a great answer.
Oh yes, I also love Ranchitos on Waco Drive. Come on. I mean that you have to go there for some Mexican food. That one's really good. Also, slight plug to my family, Jesse's Tortillas. Those are my cousins, and they very good food.
On Clay?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Great salsa too.
Great salsa. Their tamales. Oh my goodness.
I understand you've maybe had not challenge, but spent some time navigating what you're going to do this summer. Like, how are you planning all that? So, what are you going to do this summer? What's going on? Do you know?
Yes. So this summer, I am currently going to spend the second half in Austin at actually I'm hoping that should kind of work out, but that would be it's a trial firm, Scott Douglas McConico, if you are familiar.
I am.
Yeah. Yes, and they're absolutely wonderful. Andy McSwain is somebody I used to work with at Beard Colchin, and he was amazing and connected me there. But that opportunity, I have a couple different things that I might be thinking about for the first half.
Anything in Waco?
That is also a good question. So that depends. I would love to stay here. I think that'd be great. But I potentially, one of my old bosses, he became a judge, and he was like, hey, you have something here if you'd like. So we'll think about that too.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be a great opportunity.
Okay. I want you to think about a prospective Baylor Law student. They're thinking about it. I mean, people who get into Baylor Law School, they have other law school options. And so what would you tell them about what they should know about this place? The good and the bad and the ugly and all that.
Yes, this is such a great question. I think for Baylor Law specifically, for a prospective student, understanding that you will be held to a standard of excellence in the way of every single person will push you to be your best because we understand what the stakes are later on. But at the same time, being able to form friendships and form relationships and mentorships between faculty and staff and students, and then understanding what that looks like. I think that is so special to see. Every single person that you meet will they'll take the time to get to know you. They'll say hi in the hallway. They'll talk and see how they can help you, or how they can just kind of walk alongside you in your journey here. But I think specifically too is understanding the why is necessary. And I have loved getting to meet so many people from so many different areas of life, so many different stages of life, ages and stages, in the way of, we have parents and we have people who commute multiple hours a day for this. We have people who are just coming out of undergrad. We have people who took a couple years to work or did something completely different, not related to the law. And I think that has been so wonderful to see that Baylor Law specifically tries to create this is for anyone. And this, if you have the drive and the passion to do this, I mean, this is for everyone. And getting to see that and learn from people who are in different stages and ages than me has been such a blessing. And so I think for prospective students, if law school is ever a hesitation, if it's ever I don't know if I'm cut out for this, you 100% are. 100% are, and Baylor Law will walk alongside you throughout the entire time, if in those moments that you feel that you aren't.
Okay, we've come to the lightning round. Questions are silly. Answers have to be short.
Perfect.
On an airplane, window seat or aisle seat?
I gotta go aisle.
Do you plan everything, or do you prefer to be spontaneous?
Ooh, spontaneous.
Okay, you can only have one of these. Would it be the perfect playlist or the perfect parking spot?
Oh my goodness. Playlist.
Cooking or takeout?
Takeout.
Completely free day, free of responsibilities. How would you spend it?
Playing sports with my friends, for sure.
Dropping those threes.
Exactly. I gotta keep up with them.
What is a hobby you wish you had more time for?
Ooh. Honestly, probably reviewing movies, watching and reviewing movies. I would love to do that. It's like Letterboxd. Have you heard of Letterboxd? I know this is lightning round, but
That sounds like a profession.
it does sound like that's true. On the side, I could do a little,
Night owl or early bird?
night owl
Favorite way to celebrate good news?
with family and friends.
Favorite board game or card game?
Probably, does poker count as a card game?
That is a card game.
Amazing.
If you were uncertain about that, I'd like to play poker with you. Favorite place to study?
Second floor library.
Okay, I understand you have a question or two for me.
I do. So one's a little more serious. I'll start with that one.
Okay.
But I was just wondering, so when you're talking to people about Baylor Law, because I'm sure you got to do that a lot, prospective students, alumni, friends, family, that kind of thing, what would you say is the quality that you see in students, faculty, and staff that you are most proud to share? And those can be different between the three of those, but...
Yeah. So faculty and staff, the thing that comes immediately to mind is that they all know why we're here. And so I think I've certainly said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I can go to everyone in this building, faculty and staff, and say, what's the number one thing around here? And they would all give some version of it's the students. The students are the number one thing. I love that about our faculty and staff. And keeping mission and purpose in mind, it influences everything else that we do. For students, you've touched on a lot of what I admire about our students most, which is our students overwhelmingly, and I don't think this is unique to Baylor Law School, but it's certainly something I see in our students, and I'm very proud of it. They do hit those moments where they did not get the experience, the outcome that they wanted. They didn't win the moot court competition. They lost their trial in practice court. They did not get the grade they wanted. The cold call didn't go the way they wanted it to. But it's the dust yourself off, get up, and keep moving. That is the thing that I love to see in Baylor Law students, because of all the qualities of a great lawyer, one of them has to be resilience. It has to be the ability to take a licking and keep on ticking. And so I really like that, and especially when I see the student saying, sort of seem to be experienced like, I know I need to go through that, right? I know I need to keep going. And then to recognize in retrospect that made me better to have had that experience. Okay, you got a less serious one?
I do. So I was told also, because of my,
your connections here.
Of course, my many, many connections, that you love Star Wars.
I don't love every movie.
And that's fair. Neither
Okay.
do I. I support that. So I was wondering, what Star Wars character do you most identify with?
This is the greatest question ever asked on the podcast.
I try.
But I don't know that I really identify with any of them. I like characters in Star Wars, but I don't look at them and go, "Wow, that's somebody I really want to be like." But
fair.
I do like Darth Vader.
Amazing.
I like Darth Vader.
I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure you were.
perfect.
Thanks, Mars. This is
Of
great.
course. Thank you so much.